Hey buddy, Everton here. In this video I'm going to show you how you can deploy your hydrogen project using Netlify for free. Most of you should already know that Shopify recommends using Oxygen to deploy projects, but sometimes we want to do it for free, like cases uh, we want to create a personal project and we want to deploy it without paying for it because the project will not be used in production, and that's my case. And other case that we could consider using Netlify is where we want to show a demo for the client without needing to ask to the client to pay for it, so we can just use Netlify to deploy this project for free. And yeah, and Netlify is good, has a good infrastructure, and it can be helpful for production cases as well. So let's get started. As you can see here, I already deployed on one of my websites and using Netlify. That's my case, but as it's already deployed, I will be using another example here. That is a kickstart with some changes in the navbar just to simulate an existing project, right? And first thing you needed to do is open my article link. The link will be in the description of this video. And yeah, if you don't have a project, a hydrogen project yet, and you are planning to create it and deploy it to Netlify, you can be getting a template with Wally configuration done. So you don't need to configure configure everything by yourself. You can just download this template and make your deployment, your development here, and then it will work in the deployment with Netlify. But if you are in a case like I was, where we already have a project and we want to deploy it for free, that's this case here. You can follow these steps by steps where I will be showing in this video. So, okay, here I have my project, and as you can see, we are using the commands from hydrogen that would deploy for oxygen, and it's all configured to oxygen as you can see here. So it's using oxygen here as well, as you can see here, remix oxygen. So let's get started and follow the step by steps here. The first thing you need to do here is install the Netlify CLI. As we will change the comments in the package.json, you need to have it installed in your machine. As I already have this installed, I will skip this step, but you need to have it installed. And the second thing you need to do is open your package.json and change these comments here. So you can just copy and paste it here, and you can remove the old comments here. The next step is install some packages that will be recorded in this steps by step, so you can just run it in your terminal. And when it finish, in the meantime I can already do this next step, where in the vit.config.ts you should add this Netlify plugin. So you can copy this import here and use it in the plugins, right? So yeah, the package was already installed, and I already added the Netlify plugin to my vit.config.ts. Now we can modify our server.ts. Uh, as I already mentioned here, we are using the remix oxygen here, and we can't use it anymore to work in Netlify. So we needed to change it to use the Netlify Remix Edge adapter. But I will not do all the adaptations here manually because it would cost some time. But you can do it by yourself if your server.ts has some specific logic that your project needs. But in my case, I don't have any logic, so I can just copy this file here that is in the article link, right? So you can just click here this file, and it will redirect you to hydrogen template from Netlify with an example of this server TS to run in Netlify. So you can just copy this file here and paste in your server.ts. And yeah, and you will notice that we are importing and create app load context from lib/context, and we needed to change it as well. As you can see here, we are using functions from functions that is using oxygen. So we needed to adapt this file as well, and also the imports here, right? Uh, as I mentioned, I will not spend much time here just configuring everything manually. So what I recommend here is just copy the files from this hydrogen template to our project, and it should work correctly, just to save my time here. But you can open both files and compare what is required here and just be adapting manually if you needed this logic working, right? But this is not my case, so I can just open here app lib, and I need to change my context file, so I can copy all this content here. Okay, this is the context file, this here. Great. And we also can be copying the fragments. This is a query. I think maybe this will not be required you to change, but just to avoid any error, I will be copying it. So in the same context here we have fragments. Cool. And the session is important as well. We are using here in the session, we are using the remix oxygen, and to make it work we needed to use this. So I will be copying everything, but you can adapt as you're needed. Okay, I think it should be enough to make it work so far. The next step is create a Netlify configuration file, and we can create it here, netlify.toml, and we can copy it here. This is just to say to Netlify which commands run. It can be configured in the dashboard as well, but just to make the things work here in the code, I'm just created this file. Okay, this should be enough to make your project work, so we can commit this change here. Okay, so now this project here is already in my GitHub, right? So I can open my Netlify here, and I can go to the sites in the sidebar, and we can click in add a new site, import an existing project, selecting GitHub in my case, but you can be using another one. And here I will be typing hydrogen, that's the name of my repository there, and this is the repository that we are using now. I will be using here demo project hydrogen. Yeah, and look that it's already filled because we created the Netlify configuration file. Okay, so now you needed to add all the environment variables that your project has. To save time here, I'll pause the video. I'll be back when I finish that. Okay, so I already filled the environment variables here, as you can see, but I will not show here just to avoid anyone using the same Shopify store here. But then you can click in this deploy demo project hydrogen, close this file. This can be deleted. Okay, and now the deploy is already running. Let me remove this black box here. Okay, remove the wrong one. This one. Cool. And now you can go to the deploys tab, and you should see your deploy here running. Deploys. Okay. Okay, I will pause the video again to save time here. And the deploy finish after almost 2 minutes. And we can see that all the steps was completed with success. And we can click here open production deploy to see that it's deployed with success. As you can see, it's the same name that we filled before, and it's working correctly. Okay, seems you can see that it's working, but yeah, it's working fine. Maybe you can encounter an issue in your case because your project can be more complex with mine. My project here is just on Kickstart generated hydrogen project with some changes in navbar and some other places. But I'm not. I don't can ensure that this will work for you, but I can ensure that it can work for you because, as you can see, it worked for me two times. So it worked in this case and two another case as well. And yeah, maybe if your project is more complex, using the more functions from Remix Oxygen, you need to adapt it in more places. And if it's that the case, I recommend you try to fix that. And if it's not possible, you can open and check it to the Netlify. Here in the article, I let a link here to a Netlify repo where you can open an issue here. And if they don't answer your ticket, you can open it directly to the Netlify support. Okay, I hope it can helpful for you as it was for me. And any questions or any feedbacks, feel free to talk to me, and you can reach out to me using the contact form here, and you can also use the email or LinkedIn or any other um, contact that you find. Thank you for watching. Bye.